Was looking at myself a little bit this morning, and I said, Self, I like the way you look with about 3 days of growth on you. I don't like the way you look with about 7 or 8 or 9 days of growth. I think it starts looking kind of scraggly. But 3 or 4, maybe even 5 days looks, I think, pretty cool and feels pretty cool. And I'll tell you what, I wear this little white in my beard, hello Jack Taylor, with pride of a man that has seen some stuff in his 55 years, has been through stuff, occasionally will get tired and feel beaten down and feel his emotions and struggle and feel the wet, cold, metallic bench I'm sitting on and go, ooh. But a man that is strong. And God reminded me of that this morning because I've let myself kind of get beaten down the last couple days. And I felt lonely and sad, and I'm missing my kids. And I'm living in Yellowstone, which sounds like paradise to most people. But when you have 2 little ones and they occupy 3 of the 4 chambers of your heart, and you're living on the other side of the country from them, doing the right thing as best you know how, and working hard for them so they can have their awesome little lives that, they deserve to have, you can get worn out. And I think yesterday, God told me in a message, sent me a message and said, Ken, yeah, you're tired. I understand. But the reason you're tired is because you've been working out and working hard and getting stronger. And it feels good to know that, and it feels good to know you're doing the right thing, and it feels good to be reminded that the challenges you're given in life, are given to you as gifts to make you stronger. And I was getting beaten down because it's easy to get beaten down. It is easy to get beaten down. Heck, I'm 55. I was waiting tables last night till almost midnight. And you get tired and you want to rest. And it's okay to rest every once in a while, but you don't lay there and you don't wallow in your own pity for too long. And you get up and you remind yourself why you're given those challenges, and it's to make you stronger. And it feels good today to walk around and feel strong and feel invigorated. And I just saw a guy I worked with in the cafeteria, and he goes, "Coffee with Ken. You inspired me to get back in the gym." And we chatted for a little bit, and I felt some pride in him that he's working out and bettering himself and what have you, and pride in myself, honestly, that realizing what I'm doing here matters. Yeah. So good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Monday morning. Is it July 1st? Is it July 1st? I think it's July 1st. Hello, Paul. So it's Monday morning, July 1st at 6:30 a.m. Happy Monday. Hello, Mr. Friedman, Mr. or Mrs. Friedman. This is a little show I've been doing for quite some time. It's a show about me talking. It's a show about me sharing some feelings, sharing the adventures of one man as he navigates his way down the path that is life. And it's a path that's filled with potholes and filled with dangers and filled with challenges and filled with temptations. And if you keep your chin up and you keep moving forward when all that stuff feels too much to handle, life gets pretty darn good. But it never gets easy because I think we need reminders. And Uh, yeah, we need reminders. We need those reminders or learning lessons or whatever you want to call them, because it doesn't matter how old you are or how you're feeling or how much time you have left on this planet. You can always get a little better, and there's always more time for a little bit of improvement. And that's kind of what started the show. I was 50. What was I? I don't know. I guess I was 50 years old, and I was drinking every day, and I was living in a dark apartment. And if I had the money, I was smoking pot as well. And I was spending my days kind of getting by and trying in a profession I didn't care for, and I didn't feel provided any value to the world at all, honestly. And was always trying to get my next paycheck, and wasn't feeling good about who I was or what I was doing or where I was at. And it came out of me in a eruption sort of way, and what became my very first Coffee with Ken show, which was 5 years ago last week, I think, and has continued and grown and changed platforms and been silly at times and hopefully inspirational at times and hopefully educational at times. And sometimes I know it moves me to tears. But it's a show that means a lot to me, and it's a show that I enjoy doing and always puts a smile on my face. But for those that have been watching a while, you know, oh, do you know? By the way, is this a pride cup? Is this a pride cup? You know, I got no problem with anybody, I don't think. I mean, I got problems with people that have problems with me. But I got no problems with anybody or what anybody does in their own private life, pretty much. But I don't know. Somebody said, hey, way to go representing pride. And I didn't look at this as a pride cup. Just for anyone wondering, I just thought it was a real colorful, pretty cup. And it had Yellowstone on it, and it was the right price. And I needed a cup. And I thought it was interesting. So I don't know. It's a cup to be proud of. It certainly is. What's my favorite coffee, dude? I haven't had it in a while. It's the Starbucks Sumatra. It is the Starbucks Sumatra. Oh, we interrupted my... It's the Starbucks Sumatra. I am out in Yellowstone. I'm here till October, till I can... I'm here working as a waiter in Yellowstone. And I'm here because I have 2 ex-wives and a lot of financial responsibilities and babies that need loving from their mamas and need financial support from their dada when he's not there to love on them with his own eyes and fingers and in person. So what I'm doing out here is I'm loving on my babies in the best way I know how, by working hard and waiting tables and making a decent amount of money and living in a room with 2 roommates, and saving money and sending out money and doing what I need to do. And that feels really, really good. But my favorite coffee is Starbucks Sumatra. It's a full, big tasted coffee, dark roast, that, as they used to say, would put hair on your chest. And I apologize to any women that probably wouldn't want that. But it's a coffee that tastes kind of like dirt. And it lets you know you're awake in the morning or you're alive in the day. And it's a coffee I miss, because I've been drinking cafeteria coffee for the last 6 weeks. But these are one of the sacrifices that we make when we do the right thing. But anyway, I am excited to have my very first sip of coffee this morning. And my hope is that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. If you shut your eyes and imagine, you can almost taste the Sumatra. And if you imagine twice as hard, you can get hints of the pumpkin spice, which will be coming to stores in the next month or so. Count our blessings, Ken. Count our blessings, Ken. Count our blessings, Ken. It's easy to struggle. It's easy to struggle. And like I said, I've been struggling the last couple days. It's challenging living out here, but it's challenging in a maybe a challenging way that I needed as a guy that has always, I don't know, been blessed with a good amount of friends and family that love them and watch out for them and enjoy hanging out with them. Maybe I needed this for some reason, even a reason unknown, kind of to come to a place that's a little quieter. For me, has felt a little lonely at times, and focus on work and focus on maybe things that are different. And yeah. Good morning, Jaras. Have I been to Singapore? No, I have not been to Singapore. I have not. I actually never even thought of going to Singapore. Not that I wouldn't. I believe I think that's in Indonesia. Or is that in Indonesia, or am I being silly? I've only had one sip of coffee, so bear with me. Top of the morning to you, BX. Singapore. I'm feeling Indonesia. I'm feeling the other side of the world. I'm feeling like they might have coffee there. I bet you they would have good coffee. So if I could, I would love to take a quick visit to Singapore, be sitting in a little cafe, drinking coffee out of a big cup. I was going to do one of these little tiny cups like you do in Italy, I would imagine. I've never been to Italy either. Drinking these fancy, expensive little tiny coffees. And I like my coffees big. I used to like my beers big. It's funny. I work in this restaurant. Steve says he weekend and fly out to the Philippines. Waited tables for a long time was one of my favorite jobs. I could see really loving waiting tables. And there's moments that I really kind of do love it. And last night was a good night, and last night was a profitable night, but that's not what defines it to me as a good night. Some days I'm running around with my hair on fire, feeling like I can't keep up, and this table needs this, and that table's waiting on food, and this table hasn't been greeted yet, and that table's angry at me for some reason. And I feel stressed, and I feel out of control, and I feel like I'm sprinting around, and when I'm doing that, I feel I'm more likely to make mistakes. But last night I had a full section, and I felt I had control over it. Maybe it was because I was grumpy or in a bad mood or whatever, but I wasn't letting my emotions, those high, super excited emotions run me ragged. And I felt I had a good control over my section, and was able to run food for other people or what have you. And it felt good. I wasn't thrilled the whole time I was there. I wasn't loving every moment of it, but I felt in control, and I felt like I was a damn good waiter last night because I had control of my section. It was a big section. My table seemed to like me. The food came out hot. I had extra time to donate to the good of all, and I was proud of myself last night. And I got through it, and I reminded myself why I'm here, and I made a good amount of money, and I'm going to be able to send some off to both ex-wives. Save a little, and dream of the future. And it just felt like a good night for me. And I woke this morning and realized I don't work again till the night shift, and that felt good. My first few weeks here, I was doing a lot of double shifts, like lunch, dinner shifts, which can be 12-hour shifts, or breakfast dinner shifts, which can also be 12-hour shifts and are especially difficult when preceded by a dinner and can really wear you out and suck your spirit and suck your energy, especially at 55, because my body feels it. My body feels it. But I am excited that I had one shift to work last night. I got one shift to work tonight. I got the whole day ahead of me. I've got coffee to drink. I'm going to make a amazingly good earnings tonight, and Uh, I don't know. I'm just feeling really good today. Somebody asked if we pool the tips. No, we don't. We tip out the bartender and we tip out our server assistant, which usually has either 2 or 3 waiters, and they do a lot of table bussing, and oftentimes they'll greet the customers and pour them water before we go over and get the drinks started or appetizers started or what have you. But we don't pull the tips. I'd struggle with that. I mean, I struggle with it as it is. I think everyone should have a great attitude and work hard. And, I've struggled with all that all my life. I have high expectations of others. I have high expectations of myself. I promise you. So I also have high expectations of others. And I referred to a guy I saw a little bit ago that said he was inspired to get in the gym because he was watching my videos. I'll tell you what, he comes in and works hard and has a damn good attitude. And he's above me. He works behind the, not front of house. He works back of house. He's one of our chefs. And he recently was promoted to that position. And with that comes a lot of responsibility. I assume more income, but something to be proud of, the promotion. But he was in the cafeteria away from his kitchen. There was a piece of candy wrapper or some sort of wrapper on the floor. And he bent over mid-conversation and picked it up and was taking it to the garbage. And I told him how proud I was that he was back in the gym. And that's when he bent over and picked up this piece of garbage and was getting ready to throw it out. And as I'm walking away, I go, I'm proud of you for that too. And I am proud. If he's watching this, because he now watches my show, he knows who I'm talking about. I'm proud of him. What was the question? Somebody just asked me something. When's my birthday? It's in August. It is in August, my birthday. It's about a month away. Going to be 56 years old. Can I wait tables at 56? If I am waiting tables, it's because God wanted me to be waiting tables and because God thought I needed to and because God realized that they pay a lot out here, we waiters, and we're lucky to have it. And they feed us and house us, maybe not in the luxurious ways that we are used to. Coffee that can the heck out of my summer. Said, hey, they're all waving. People from my restaurant are sitting in the window waving at me. I'd almost pick up the phone and show them. I think I see Leo. I think I see Bree. I'm going to use their first names. I apologize in advance. I think I see Sky. And I'm only going by the haircuts they have because they're in their windows and apparently they might be watching me right now. Good morning, guys. I'm glad you are working the breakfast shift and I am not. But anyway, what did somebody ask a bit ago? When's my birthday? It's coming up. It is coming up. He wants me to give them the peace sign. I don't know. They're huddling around. They're giving me the peace sign back. They seem excited. You need to watch the comments. I don't know that I need to do anything. This is the link to Mr. Rogers. I don't know what you mean, curly girl. I don't know what you mean. They are definitely here watching. AC Ganar. I don't know who AC Ganar is. I need to like Mr. Rogers, curly girl is saying. Oh, I am like Mr. Rogers. I'm telling you, I'm Mr. Rogers with a heck of an edge. I'll bet you what. I'll bet you Mr. Rogers, if you got him ticked off enough, could beat somebody's ass. I bet you beyond that calm, cool, loving, sweet demeanor, if you pushed him hard enough, uh, you could make him mad. And you would not want to make Fred Rogers mad. And uh, I think I have a little bit of that in me. And I don't like that. I don't like getting mad. I don't like getting angry. But it's in there. It is in there. And I was thinking about it as I went to bed last night. Most of you guys probably aren't old enough uh, uh, to remember the Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno. I think it was like in 1980 and 82. And I'm sure most of you guys know who the Incredible Hulk is, but Bill Bixby did a really good job as whoever the Incredible Hulk is when he's not the Incredible Hulk. But anyway, he goes, yeah, you're making me angry, or you don't want to make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. And I bet the same could be true about Fred Rogers, and the same could be true about me. I'm generally smiling and jovial and happy, but occasionally that falls off. No taxes on tips. I don't know any reason to not tax. Okay, Steven, who's worked in a restaurant, courtship of Eddie's father. Yeah, Maverick, you're showing our age. That used to be on when I was sick and I was at home, and it was on one of the channels, and there was a show called Courtship of Eddie's Father. And I never really liked it much, and it came out before the Hulk, so it must have been filmed in the early 70s. And never cared for it much. But anytime it came on when I was sick at home, missing school, I guess I was going to press a button, but I couldn't press a button. I must have had to either suffer through it or get up and turn the channel to one of my 2 or 3 options I had. Mr. Rogers never prepared you for your neighbors. I don't know what that means. I do not know what that means. But anyway, what was my point? I don't know if I had a point. Sometimes when I don't have a point, I'll just sit and drink my coffee. Oh, pay taxes. Okay, that's right. I'd rather not pay taxes on your tips. Yeah, well, I'd rather not pay sales tax. I'd rather not pay property tax. I'd rather not pay off my student loans. I'd rather not pay my credit card debt. And frankly, rather not have 2 roommates. Nothing against my 2 roommates, but I'd like to live in a nicer place. My own place with my own kitchen that has a nice bathroom and a hot tub where I can soak in. But sometimes we got to do things, and paying taxes is one of those unfortunate things we got to do. And Steve said vote for Trump so waiters don't have to pay taxes on tips. I'm not going to make a political comment about that. But for those that have been watching a while, you probably know who I'm going to vote for. And this cup might confuse you. And I don't want to talk politics, but it's almost hard not touching on politics. We should have 2 better presidential candidates than we do. Honestly, I like a lot of stuff that was done under Trump. I'll just say it. I do. And I kind of like, I don't even know if he truly stands for it, but I like some of the things. But he's a blowhard in a lot of ways, kind of a jackass. And maybe you need a blowhard jackass for president, but I'd hope we don't. And I feel we could have done better on the Republican Party nominating a candidate. I don't know who we won in a majority, so wasn't even close. But I'd like to think that America could produce 2 better candidates for president of the United States than we got. And okay, well, I've said what I said about Trump, and this will piss people off. I didn't like Biden when he was young. He gives me the heebie-jeebies. He's a career politician. Blah, 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 to career politicians. And right now, I mean, he yeah, shouldn't be running the country. He shouldn't be running the country. And I think we all know that. And I don't even think he is running the country. It's embarrassing. I think he's propped up in a puppet that's being held up by the whoever's managing him. And it's embarrassing. I got two Romanian roommates. They just flew over here from Romania. And I was flipping through my videos, and in one of them there was a quick clip of Biden's voice, and I flipped it away real quickly. And this kid that's 20 or 21 years old from Romania seemed to have a better understanding than half our country does, or than most of our country does, about our candidates. And it just shouldn't be. And I'm not kicking him when he's down. My mother died of Alzheimer's 4 years ago. But, if you're not fit, it's not because he's 81. I don't think he's fit to run the country, mentally or physically. It's not even close. It's not even close. And I don't understand what we're doing. I don't understand what we're doing. Yes, Trump might be a jackass, and maybe I understand why a ton of people don't like him. But whatever wits he had, his troubles aren't due to a deteriorating a mental condition. And I don't talk about politics often, and I didn't even watch the debate. But what little I saw was an embarrassment. And I'm not saying he should be ashamed of himself for losing his mental facilities or losing his strength, because it's going to happen to all of us. But I'm saying our country deserves better than the two candidates we have. And I think once we shed them, maybe we'll find, I don't know, some common ground and some slightly right or slightly left of center political person that can see aspects of both sides. And, all right, I'm going to keep going for politics. This country's so weirdly divided that we can't talk about big issues. And I'm going to bring up probably the most personal one, but I'm going to just do it because it's my show. But issues like abortion are very tough issues. And we act like it's a black and white issue. I certainly can understand both sides' perspectives of it. And I understand both sides' perspectives on a lot of issues. And to act, my sister, who I love with all my heart, is a very Christian woman and a really, really, really great woman. And I've had people act like she's a nut for her beliefs that abortion's not right. And I'll promise you, my sister's not a nut for her beliefs in that, because I understand where she's coming from. And it happens both ways. And I would love to see a middle-ish of the road political candidate. I don't even care if they're right or left. Maybe I do, but not much. But somewhere in the middle that could see both sides and understand the gay people are people too. And that, I don't know, that we all got bills to pay. And that we shouldn't write off waiters' tips just because we're buying the waiter vote. And we shouldn't write off student loans because we're buying the student loan. And we shouldn't throw endless money at education because we're buying the thing, our kids' lives. And but I think most of the political moves we make are just buying votes. And that makes me sad and kind of makes me sick. RJ says term limits would help with Congress. Steve's saying it should be up to the states. Yeah, maybe on both of them. I don't, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to talk you into my political beliefs, but I will say, I don't know, I think that debate, was a joke. It's going to happen again in September. It's not going to go any better in September. One guy's kind of a bully and one guy's clearly has declining facilities. And one of them's going to be president next year. What about 60 billion going to Ukraine? I don't know, but I'd like to explore it. I'd like to explore it. That is a thing. I'd like to ask good questions about it. I'd like to find out where that money's going, how much of it is being stolen, and what pockets are being lined that are each digging their hands into the $60 billion and taking some along the way, because that's what's happening. And so much of government expenditures, this is why I'm conservative or slightly right of center, is because I believe, and I'm in a national park. So it seems kind of strange, but I believe in smaller government, or as small as we can, just because there's so much wasted money and so many people stealing money along the way. And there's so much vote buying and favors winning and spending of other people's money, and it's stupid. Did my voice get deeper? I do not know. Did my voice get deeper? So anyway, back to the original point. Why I don't see why waiters shouldn't get taxed on their tips. The only reason I could see is because it's just too hard to account for. It's our income. I'd like the sound of not getting taxed on my tips too. That sounds great. But I don't see any real reason for it. I understand that as a waiter it would benefit me and why people would want to. But I just don't see what makes me special. They need to put God back in our schools. Parents need to have dinner each night with their kids and pray. Bring back God in our schools. I don't know about that, Brenda, and I talk a lot about God, and I talk a lot about my faith and my growing faith and my confidence, and I talked a lot about it today, that God made me stronger by giving me challenges. But I don't think school is the place to talk about God. I think you're right on the money that I think parents should sit down and have dinner with their kids. And I say that as a guy that misses his kids and isn't going to have dinner with his kids tonight because he's twice divorced. And I'm going to say that sucks. But there's a reason for it. But I think religion should be done in the family and not in the schools. I know for me, I wasn't raised religious at all. At all. I didn't understand religion. I didn't understand spirituality. And most of the kids that I went to school with went to a various church. I used to lie and tell them I was Catholic, and I didn't even know what Catholic meant, just because I thought it'd be a good answer and it would get me out of an uncomfortable situation and trying to explain them my lack of faith, just because I wasn't raised that way. And I don't think the school is a place for talking about it, because I think there's room in this world for Muslims and Jews and Christians and agnostics and atheists and all sorts of things. And if somebody wants to believe in a certain something, that's okay. And it shouldn't be the government's job to be pushing faith. I think it should be come from the parents and come from the family. And most importantly, it should come from within. It should come from within. And that's what feels cool about my faith journey. And honestly, that's a little bit why I went to my church. I went to a church. I was going to a church I really enjoyed in Naperville called the Yellow Box. And I went there because I was looking for something. And I found people that were joyous and smiling and holding the door open. And the music was good. And the energy, it was filled with energy. And I liked some of the sermons. And I didn't believe every word. And I didn't get moved by every word. And not every sermon touched me. But some did. And I'll tell you what, Gary with 2 hours smile at the door, holding the door open with a good morning or happy Sunday to me, everything moved me. And I went to a church here in Gardner, Montana, my first week here, and I thought the sermon was okay, and I thought the community feeling was okay, but the pastor said something to me on a happenstance meeting that kind of put me off. And I think he said something along the line of, he'll put in a good word to God for me. And maybe I misheard, or maybe I was too sensitive, but I don't think so. I don't need anybody else to put in a good word to God for me. I don't at all. If you guys want to pray for me, that's cool. But I feel, and I never really understood this, I have a personal relationship with a higher power, or God, or the universe, or whatever you want to call it, where God can tell me that, hey, I'm giving you these challenges to make you stronger, to make you stronger. And I tell you what, it feels good being stronger today. And it feels good to have struggled yesterday, and to hurt yesterday, and to felt lonely yesterday, and to been angry yesterday, and to been sad yesterday, because it made me stronger today. And it feels good being stronger. It feels good seeing a B-class conversion van drive by, and gets me excited and gets me believing in who I am and what I'm doing, and the steps I've made, and the habits I picked up, and the hard work I do in the dining room, and makes me feel comfortable about who I am, and the direction I'm going. So I'm going to have one more sip of coffee. Been on my high horse a little bit this morning, but I was on a very low, one of those baby ponies yesterday, kind of limping along. But today I feel filled with purpose. I feel filled with excitement. I feel filled with energy. I feel I worked really hard and did a great job last night, and I'm going to work really hard and do a great job last night, and I'm going to be able to support my kids and save some money for me and keep a roof over my head and drink some coffee and post some videos and make a difference in this world. And I would encourage you to do something small today. Be like my man James that I saw in the restaurant today, and bend over and pick up that piece of garbage, and start small, and go into the gym and do 2 push-ups, and just do something small for yourself. Do something small for yourself. Do something small for yourself and get a little bit better today. And so one more sip of coffee. I want to thank you so much for joining today. I appreciate you. It always means a lot when you hop on. I hope whatever social media platform you're following me on, you're subscribing to my page, you're liking my videos. I have a lot of fun doing this, and it feels good, and I know it makes a difference. And I so appreciate you, and I hope you had a great, great weekend, and I hope you had a great night's sleep, and I hope you remember, despite your struggles, how blessed you truly are. And so thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're loving yourself. I hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.